Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. I hope today finds you well and at peace with yourself. If not, we're all going to send you a lovely big hug before we start, so we get in the right frame of mind to have a lovely little crafty catch up. Now today I want to share with you a design I've put on my November page of my calendar. As you know, with these designs I like to show you what I've done with my calendar, but then I'll transfer it and we'll create a card together. So if you didn't have a calendar, please don't switch off, because I'm sure this will give you some ideas for a card design. Now this is the top of my calendar, and I have to say at the base there's this lovely image which so many of you have asked, where's this come from? Now I think you might have to wait and see, but I've got an inkling that you're all going to love this. I mean, it's fabulous, isn't it? And all I've done is added a little bit of colour. I want it to look like a full page, you know, that lovely word, a cohesive design. So I just added a little bit of holly look and some light and a little bit of stamping in the background. So the whole thing looks like, when it's hanging up, we've got that lovely, that it all ties together. So that's my calendar, which I'm just going to place in a safe place. Now, if your desk is anything like mine, you'll know trying to find a safe place. And what I've done is I've created this, matted and laid it, so that you can see how it would look for a card design. Now, I'm thinking this, a lovely red bow here would really finish it off as well. And maybe some gems. So depending on if you're giving this to somebody or you're sending it in the post, you know, we've got lots of places we can take it to. This is just, you know, want to whet your crafty appetite and get you crafting with me. So the piece of card I started off with, and again, we'll put this in a safe place, is out of the multi-pack here. It's not easy to say the multi-pack of multifarious card. And you get A5, A6 and 7x7. So I'm using the A5 sheet. But also I know you ladies and gents like to know what card I would put this on. And this is a 10x7. I buy ready-made card blanks and envelopes. And look, I would still have room to mat and layer, add some lovely coloured card round. And I could even just pop it there if I wanted and add a sentiment here. So that's where I'm heading with this. And I'm going to start with my stamping. Now, you know what it's like when you're invited into my head. I'm going to get my VersaFine clay. I'm using pine cone. Now, this all started because I've got this lovely stamp, the headdress. And I've got to be honest, it's not one I've used very much. And this does happen when we get, you know, when we get stamps. We have ones we prefer more than others, don't we? It's human nature. You know me, I tend to go to my field grass and my wild summer flowers and my florals. And I thought, you know what? I've not really used the headdress. And I felt really bad. I had a word with myself. But when I looked at it, I thought, this is just foliage. And I went like that and I thought, oh, it is foliage. Look at that. Make a fabulous nest for the owls. So I'm telling you, you heard that from me. If you want to put your owl in there, what a lovely nest. But I thought just I could build on this as foliage. So hence, I'm going to stamp it. And again, I've gone for brown. I couldn't decide. I think it would look good in green, but I decided to go for brown for this bit. And again, this, you could put any time of year, but I'm thinking with it being November on my calendar, I was going for like a festive sort of Christmas type of design. And I'm thinking I'm going to put it here. I want some room for my lovely hanging foliage, but also want some room for my fairy and my dangly foliage. Well, that's what I'm thinking anyway. That's the way it sort of worked. Isn't it funny when you start looking at stamps in different ways and you think of all the possibilities, but look at the detail in that. Absolutely stunning. So I'm going to come in now with Nia, and she's just going to sit at the top, but I'm going to do her in black. So I've got my Nocturne. Now she's a silhouette, so make sure I get plenty of ink on her. and I may need to just put my head over the top because I just want to position her so she's just sitting there. Because obviously she's going to be reaching up for an extra little berry. Now, the lovely Christmas charms would look nice hanging down as well. There's another idea. Oh yeah, see, she fits beautifully there. So we'll give her something to hang down, and I'm going for the winter berries. And into the winter berries, there's 2 sizes. So we'll go back to our brown ink, and I'm going for the smaller of the 2. And I'm just going to pop that sort of dangling there. Yeah, so she's there. As I say, there are so many things you could sort of, dare I say, dangle in front of her. Now, on our woodland set, we've got these 2 lovely pieces, which I can see traces drawn in there. So I'm thinking if I go along with that design, again, I'm keeping to the brown, I can extend, just caught the edge of my block, so I just need my inky binky. I can extend this design. So where we've got them here, look. So I'm thinking we can pop one coming out there. And this really, you just play, you just add. I always say it's a bit like being a sort of frustrated flower arranger. So I'm thinking we'll have one there. And should we just have another one just over there, just for that shape? And these are on the woodland set. So if we go for the opposite one, and let's just add one this side to complement. I don't want it obviously symmetrical, but I just want the balance to be nice. So we had one here, didn't we? So if we add another one there, and then again, just for the shape, I think we'll add one there. And then I'm going to use a couple of pound stamps, so the mini winter berries fits in perfectly with our larger ones of there. So we'll add a couple in this design here. Now I'm going to add colour to these, so I am being mindful how many I stamp because obviously I'm going to be colouring them. But I'm thinking let's pop one in the middle here. And I know there's a gap there, but I can either draw that in or I can add, I'm going to add some holly is what I'm thinking. And then pop one there, one this side, and then one here. And then this one I think might just be off the page, which is fine. Oh, look at that, didn't press that down hard enough, but not to worry. Brown fine liner, look. Draw that in, add some dots. Nobody would ever know. And we'll just extend that. I have to say, I've used my brown fine liner so much. Now I stamp so much in the brown, and that's the pine cone. Lovely, lovely colour. So we'll come in now with some holly, and we'll bring in our Shady Lane, or Shady Lady as we like to call her. And again, this little pound holly stamp is just fabulous. And we'll add a couple, just check you can see what I'm doing. We'll add a couple at the top here, just again to bring that whole design together. And then I'm just going to put that second generation one there. Just, I like that. I like that shape. So it comes to our design here. And again, it's just that thing about your flower arranging. So you can build them up as much. And I love the first and second generation. And also for me, I just think, do you know what? Let's use that ink. And for me, it softens the design as well. Now I want some here, don't I? Now this card, you could actually batch card make, but alter the amount of stamping you did on each one. I just want a little bit there, a little bit there. So I'm just building up. Now I've got a little mark there, I don't know if you saw it, just off the edge of my block. So we'll get rid of that with some holly. And again, nobody will ever know. And I just want to keep that nice shape. All the time I'm being mindful of the shape I want to create. So that needs a little bit more that side, I think. So I like that. And I'm just thinking a bit more. And often, I quite often just walk away. Now I want one there, but I don't want the stem. So I'm just going to ink this up. Then with my inky binky look, I'm just going to take off that stem. Because I could do with one just hanging down there. Now, as I say, often I do is I walk away and then I will come back into the room and have a look just to see how it looks, or hold it at a distance. But I'm happy with that. I like that shape. So we'll give that a blot. Again, VersaFine clay, slower drying ink. Get used to blotting it. And then we're just going to add some subtle colour just for our shading in the background. And we're going to spotlight lovely Nia. So I've got my larger of my acetate circles. I'd be lost without this, you know. I've got to be honest, I actually bought a second set because I use this one so much. And we're coming in with the Elements, the Sahara. As you know, this is getting a bit of a favourite colour. And I'm just going to pop her in the middle, look. And then dab my ink on my lid. And then just gently coming round. So I gently, just subtly want that colour. I'm not going to go over those berries there because I'm going to add some colour to those in a minute. Ink up again there, but again on my mask first, look, and then gently. And once I've got less ink on my brush, I can bring a little bit into that corner, look. A little bit round into this corner. Don't need to keep inking up too much. Your brush will hold the ink beautifully. And then what we'll do, we'll just come and be mindful to, I'm not going over those berries, but I'm going over the holly, just to accentuate that shape. And you'd be amazed how much ink you have on your brush, look. I just want to add a little bit more down here, just to extend that design. And if I move this, look, can you see how at the bottom that's just extended the whole? I like that. So what we'll do now is just add, I want to add the lovely verse, and it's the Winter Magic. Now, I have got an arrow on the back, just in case I stamp this upside down. And I'm going to come with my Elements, and I love stamping with these, but a little tip, because they're more of a spongy ink pad, for me, nice light tapping. And I'm thinking second generation, yeah. So now I need to make sure this is straight. So I'm going to pop this, the first one there. Yeah, I like that. And then again, ink up, gently does it though. If I was clever, I'd have another card ready and I'd stamp off that first generation on another card. And I want one down here. Again, I've just got some ink on my block, so I'll just get rid of that. And then one more. And that one's just over this side. There. I'll just put my lid on my ink. Actually, while I've got my ink, I'm just going to get my smaller brush and do a little bit of cheats colouring on the main image here. So I'm using the Sahara smaller brush, and I'm just adding a basic little bit of colour here. And again, I'm thinking Christmas, you've got a lot to colour. And this is a lovely way of just adding. And again, it'll keep it all tonal. But look at that. These brushes are fabulous for this. So when it comes to our main images, I'm going to come in with a couple of my clean colour. And I know you like to know the colours. So this is number 020 red and 024 wine red. And all I'm going to do, again, I'm just going to lean, I don't want to spoil my work. And all I'm going to do is with my darker colour, go at the base. Where I've got more shade, Tracy's drawn the dots. And then with my lighter colour, come in. And that will instantly add shade. And these will really pop. Now you could add glossy accents to these. But again, it depends whether you're putting it in the post and how quickly you want to post it. So we'll add a little bit of colour to her wings. I want to use the same colour because I want it, as I say, to all match. So again, a little bit darker, and then we'll just add the lighter colour down here. Lovely. And then come in a little bit darker just at the base. Right, and then our lovely big berries. We've got one there, one there. And I am colouring over where we added that Sahara. These pens are beautiful. They will go straight over the top. It's not a problem whatsoever. Now these big berries as well, if you've got any areas such as there where I've stamped the holly, you can decoupage them. And again, they're nice and quite simple to cut out. So you can add some decoupage in if you wish. Right, lids on those. And then I want to add just a little bit of depth to my lovely nest area. I'm just going to move these stamps out of the way. I'm going to come in with my pastel pencils. And I'm just going to pick a couple. So I've got orange, I've got yellow. So I'm just going to add a little bit on top of this. So at the top here. And I don't want it to be that bright colour. I don't want it to take away from our sort of main images. So, and I'm just giving it a bit of a, as you know, pastel. If it was a large area, it would need fixing. But because I'm just doing small areas, just a quick rub is enough to fix it. And we'll just add a little bit here. And then maybe I'll just come in with the red and just do a couple of these. Again, I'm just thinking of these colour tones. Maybe actually with the brown, add a couple of... And when you think of the lovely colours you could use for this, let's come in with another little bit of orange at the top. I do think it's lovely to just add. You see, that for me just makes, and I'll tell you what, I've got a lovely lime green here, and maybe if I just at the top of these add a little bit of lime green and just a couple here. Didn't add that on my other, but for some reason I just saw that the lime green tones in this. And then we'll just add a little bit of, and again, just where it's catching, And again, quick smudge. Yeah. And then we need to add some red to our berries. So I'm going to come in with the glaze. Now we've got quite a lot of gel pens. So again, whichever type of gel pen. And again, I'm sure as I quickly go around, you will tell me if I miss any. Trying to be mindful to not get my head over the camera. You don't want to see the top of my head, do you? But this is so funny. This is one of those things you do, and then you go back and you realise you've missed some, and you think, how did I miss those? And I try and colour the ones furthest away from me first, so that I won't smudge them. Now again, if I were you, this is the bit where I'd make myself that second brew, get myself a nice piece of cake, or maybe a nice cherry cake or a lemon drizzle. What's your favourite cake? Maybe it could be Christmas cake, talking about Christmas. Maybe I'll just add a couple of little red highlights in here, a few little red dots. I think that'll just bring the whole thing. Right, have I got them all? Because I know you'll be shouting at me going, you've missed one, you've missed one. Oh, I have looked right at the bottom. How could I miss that one? And then we want a little bit of sparkle. So I'm going to come in with my Wink of Stella, and we'll add a little bit of sparkle to her wings. And again, remember this will, I'm going to take that colour off, picked a bit of the colour up. This will sparkle even more when it's dry. So, and again, to the nest, to our lovely floral design here, we'll add some sparkle. And then the last thing, we're going to add some Posca splats and some highlights. Now, a few of you have messaged, and when I've cleaned with the with the clean colour, with my Posca, if I go in straight away, if I show you to add the highlight, it does pick up a little bit of that colour, so it will look quite pink. So what I will do is I'll come in with the highlight just to show you, but what I'll do is wait, and when it's dry, I'll go over the highlight just to whiten it up, because as I say, it will go a little bit pink. But I do think the highlight on the berries makes such a difference. And we'll add a little bit of snow. Now, one of these is better than the other, so we'll see. One of them, the nib does keep coming out, as a few of you found with yours. So I need to make a note which one it is. Looks like it could be this one. So let's try this one. I've written splats on this one, so hopefully this is a good one for splatting. And I'm just going to put it over my berries first. And then down here, follow this line. I'm just going to turn my work and again come in this way. So remember, if your Posca isn't splatting that well, give it a good shake, and you can always pump it up on your mat and then over that holly. And then just turn it round again. I'm going to go for this one. I just want some larger ones just at the base. As I say, they will almost disappear, but it's important to show you how we get them. Like I say, I've got about 4 or 5 Poscas on the go here, and they can be quite temperamental. The one that splats well one day won't necessarily splat well the next day, so to be honest, I just alternate. So there we have, for me, a beautiful, beautiful design. And as I say, I'm going to get myself a little red bow, I think, for this one. And when it's dry, I'll add a little bit more of those Posca splats, because as I say, you see how it's going a little bit pink? It's just absorbing the colour from the Clean Colour pens. So what I would really do is wait till they were dry and then add my splats. But it was important to show you just creating them. So that's the one we've created today. And I'll just see if I can get... I definitely needed a bigger desk, you know. Mind you, I'm sure I'm not the only one. And that's the one. So like I say, some matting and layering. And I think that's a beautiful design for a Christmas card. So thank you very much for joining me. You take care. And if you have a go, especially with our upside down headdress, please tag me and I'd love to see what you create. You take care, everybody. See you again soon. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.